Hello, friends from the comic book and manga world. My name is G,
And I'm Hector.
and we're here to talk about the August 4th, 2025 FOC. Hector and I, we work for Penguin Random House, so the titles that you'll see today are those that we can sell internationally. Aside from this YouTube channel, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and on X at PRH International Comics, where we'll post some news and updates on those channels. And you can see the links in the description below for easy access. And we'll go ahead and get started with our picks for this week. And first up is actually me. And of course, had to include this. This is for all of the massive fans around the globe. This is BTS, The Little Golden Book biography. This comes out on September 2nd, again on this FOC. If you didn't know, which I highly doubt at this point, because everyone knows them, I would hope so. This is a South Korean K-pop group with millions and millions of fans around the world. This is an illustrated little golden book, as mentioned. So they are smash success after success. They if you didn't know about this, there's mandatory military requirement for South Korean men, and the boys here all came out of that, so they're back in the spotlight. People are excited and waiting for their upcoming projects, albums. So you're gonna hear a lot more from them in the upcoming months for sure. So you don't want to miss out on this. And of course, this cover has all of them here, so in full glory and beautiful
Yeah.
illustrations.
I'm not
So
gonna make you name each one of them, but we all know you do know
I do
you know,
know all
in
of
their
them.
biography and everything, and the likes and dislikes. I do want to
Oh
mention
yes.
that Little Golden Books, if you don't know it, and a lot of comic book stores, at least in the U.S., they carry these because it has a lot of topics, not just celebrities like this, but it does have a lot of celebrities, from BTS like this to Lionel Messi to every, pretty much every celebrity you can think of, but also has all these other stories, including some that are coming from, Marvel and some other ones, other licenses. Of course, we need, there are some restrictions in some countries for some of those licenses, but you can always look them up on prhcomics.com and you'll find the list there.
Okay. All right, and
Yes.
I have another pick because I can't just do one. This is
Yes.
Our Dining Table Seconds, Please! Exclamation point, Volume 1. If you didn't know, I loved Our Dining Table, the first one. I know this says Volume 1, I will explain shortly. But
Yes.
there was Our Dining Table Volume 1 previously. That is such a cute, wholesome story, found family. It's amazing. What this is, the Seconds Please Volume 1 is essentially it's like a collection of short stories. So if you were a fan of the previous one, or you could just jump in and just read the short stories with this cute family that you have here. I love the cover so much because as
Mm-hmm.
a fan, they really met and connected because of like the rice ball that you see there. So the rice ball returns, except now it has a face with eyes and a mouth. So it's just a really sweet image to see that portrayed again with like all three of them as a family. So it's really cute. It's endearing. And yes, so this is a BL, if you didn't know, from the cover. And there is also a live action drama that was produced off of this, which is also highly recommended from Japan that I recommend checking out as well. So,
Very cool. All right, and let's go to my first cover pick. This is Avengers number 30. At number 30, this is Peach Momoko's variant I feel like I haven't picked any Peach Momoko in so long, but I had to pick this one out of, there's several obviously on this FOC from Peach Momoko, but I picked this one. Um, First of all, because it looks amazing, and second of all, because I think it's very rare for Peach Momoko to do group illustrations, and this one came out so amazing. Having all these characters: Thor, Ant-Man, Wasp, Spidey, Daredevil, Jubilee, and Wolverine, sort of in a classic superhero pose, almost like a poster, right? It looks great, and it's just it's also Peach Momoko, pure Peach Momoko goodness, you know. Her style, her character, the character, the way she draws characters, but also these poses and this scene is amazing. So I had to pick this one. Not much else to say. And then next up, another of my cover picks, and this is a double one because there's a full art one. It's Hello Darkness number 14, cover D and cover E. Their Boom 20th anniversary variants dressed by there's a dress version by Rebecca Puebla and also a full art Rebecca Puebla 1 in 20. I love that it's not just a full art, but also it changes a little bit of the background. And I did a little bit more research because I've been reading Hello Darkness, which is so amazing. If you don't know, Hello Darkness is an anthology series with various horror sort of classic horror magazine kind of. Yeah, I grew up reading this kind of thing where you have several stories in one magazine that are horror stories or sci-fi stories, and which you don't see a lot of anymore. But this one obviously is a comic book, but it still is that concept. And in that concept, I gotta say, Rebecca Puebla, obviously amazing art of, and this character, I kept thinking, what is this character? It's not part of the stories. So it is actually a character that was created for the covers, and it's called Darcia. It was created by Paolo Rivera. So what Boom did is when the editor Bryce Carlson, when they decided to create this, they said, well, we want it to be like a classic, again, anthology sort of magazine, like heavy metal and some of the other ones, and they wanted to have something consistent throughout the covers or throughout all the issues. So they created this character. Um, and I'm just going to read a little bit of a quote of what when he was asked about, and he says, "We chatted about a mysterious woman who could be our visual icon, someone you recognize on the cover every month, but wouldn't appear inside. Kind of like a dark horror version of Alfred E. Newman, of course, from Mad magazine. Uh, she would have a darkness about her and be very playful in how she interacts with the macabre. It also reminds me of the Crypt Keeper from Crypt Show, that kind of thing. So it's very cool. I also want to mention, the art of this. There's the other artists I've gotten into also do variant covers with different arts, but also the doing her. And in this case is um, uh, I said sorry, I lost my Rebecca Puebla. And Rebecca Puebla is the artist for this one from Spain. Sorry. And she does amazing art. You should check out her art, not just on Boom. She's done art all across different other publishers. And check out the four stories on this. If you haven't checked it out yet, and if you haven't picked it up, it has become a really it has a big following. I've noticed, at least here in the U.S., I've noticed a lot of people are picking up Hello Darkness every month. There you go.
All right. I don't know if I need to say much because I'm
Hmm.
sure everyone has seen this plastered online in the news. This is Marvel, DC, Deadpool, Batman issue 1. I particularly chose Issa Rabick variant, but obviously there are so many wonderful variants to choose from for this. So from the
Yeah.
cover, you'll see Deadpool, Batman, of course, crossing swords and batarangs. So we have Marvel and DC uniting once again for the first time in decades. And so essentially, Wade Wilson has been hired for a job in Gotham City, but will the world's greatest detective help him or destroy him? So the main story that you see here is written by Zeb Wells, drawn by Greg Capullo. And this is a one shot that will also feature additional backup stories. And it's spotlighting like Marvel and DC team ups. So, for example, one of the stories be Daredevil and Green Arrow with the creative team of Kevin Smith and Adam Kubert. We have Captain America and Wonder Woman with Chip Zdarsky and Terry Dodson, I should say. And then, of course, Jeff the Land Shark and Crypto with the creative team of Kelly Thompson and Guri Hiro. So these are examples of some of the backup stories that you'll see. And yeah, super excited, of course. Uh,
Yeah.
it's going to be huge. Everyone's talking about it. Of course, I had to pick one of the covers here for this one.
Excellent. And then we continue with Magic: The Gathering Untold Stories, Elspeth, number one, cover B, by our friend Vincenzo Riccardi. I call him my friend. I don't know if he remembers me. But um, he's an amazing artist that both G and I love, and we've talked about his covers before and other books, and this one is no exception. Magic the Gathering, this one is just continuing the sort of, they're putting out these untold stories from different characters from Magic the Gathering. This is going to be a four-issue series. It's of number one, and of course we have this beautiful, beautiful art. Very, I mean, if you know Vincenzo Riccardi's art, you recognize it automatically with all the colors, so much colors always included, and very shiny, and lots of highlights. I love it. And that's not much more to say other than that. One of my favorites for this FOC for sure.
Right, and then next up is my pick. This is the Creeping Below issue 4. This is the Rifkin variant. I just love the look of it because
Yeah.
like from far away it just seems like this beautiful greenery and like wild greenery. But then if you look at it a certain way, it's just the face of a woman and it's just a very interesting cover, very striking.
Yes.
And I did talk about this before. I did want to mention this because this is the finale issue, so it's going to conclude
Yes.
the story here. And we have Brian Azzarello, Vanessa Del Rey on this as well. And I mentioned, but in case to give you a reminder, if you aren't aware of the story, we have Val, who is a character here victimized and killed at the hands of an evil metal band and raised up by the dead of old Norse like gods from mythology. Will she use the newfound powers that she has to continue Ravik to wreak havoc on revenge? And it's either that or will she eventually be stopped? So you'll have to find out in this concluding issue
Yeah.
with this very beautiful cover.
Excellent. And we continue with Murder Podcast number one. This is the cover C by Ibrahim Lushi, 1 and 5. And we're getting started with Ignition. Ignition Press. So I'm really excited about that. This, if you don't know, I think we talked about it already in another video when it was announced that Ignition was starting with us and with Penguin Random House. So, but really quick, it's about a true crime podcast that all of a sudden everybody thought that was over, but all of a sudden they start seeing new episodes, and when people listen to it, they get overtaken by a murderous rage. That's basically the premise of it. This is written by Jeremy Hahn, who also did The Beauty, The Realm, and also illustrated by amazing veteran of animation and comics, Mike Tisserand, who has worked on a lot of things. I was looking at his resume for as an animator, including he did some work for the Dragon Prince, which is one of my favorite series, animated series. Also, want to talk about this cover. Obviously, this character, with the skull and the fangs and the horns, and it looks very creepy, but also very beautiful. The Ebrahel Lushi, interestingly, is not just an illustrator, but also painter and sculptor. And you should check out his social media to see his art is so cool, and it's all around this it's sort of around the same sort of sort of feeling and topic, and the colors he uses are very dark and very creepy, very cool. So I become a fan instantly, obviously. So that's it for this one. Very cool.
Yep. And then for the piece of news for this week, we had The
Mm-hmm.
Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2 scripts. So as it implies, the name, this volume includes the script from both, like I said, Part 1 and Part 2, as well as the DLC Left Behind. So you can experience like the heart-pounding story in a new way with this collection. So this is definitely for the fans, interest like for collectors, for fans for sure. The special features include an art gallery with work by Naughty Dog, which a principal character concept artist. Hyung Nam is the artist here. We have the Buckram textured cover, which you're not seeing because it's a digital
Yeah.
cover art, but once you see it in person, you'll definitely feel it. Block printing along the page's edges, and it it, it says here that it evokes like the franchise's iconic cordyceps fungus, which is a
Mm-hmm.
very interesting. I can't wait to see like it like a photograph version once
Oh
the
yeah,
physical is
like a
produced.
live version of it. Yes.
Yes, because it is a striking cover as it is through this digital rendition that you see
And
here.
of course, yeah, if you watch the show, their opening sort of shows images like this. And of course, we need to mention that it's the script for the games. You should have gotten
Games
that when G mentioned there's
with the
also for the
DLC.
DLC content. But just to be clear, is the script for the games part one, part two, and the DLC content. Um, but yes, very, very cool, very exciting for the fans of Last of Us. Um, you get this extra content, which
Mhm.
we don't really have a lot of media outside of the video games and the show. So it's great. And then just like one graphic novel, and that's it. So
All right, and that's it for this
yeah,
week. Thank you all for joining us. And as always, Hector and I, we enjoy doing this every week. So check us out again next week. Check out our other videos as well, and comment down below on what you'll be picking up on this FOC. That's it for today. Bye, everyone.
bye. Thank you.